Trying something new. I'm not a huge fan of this setup in this room, so I'm probably going to switch it up again tomorrow. Especially with Steelyx, because he's like afraid to come over here, and I don't know why. There's much more of my face. That is for sure. I don't like that I don't have Steelyx right next to me. He's in here. He's right over there on the floor. Not a fan of him hanging out over there, that's for sure. There's going to be some growing pains, but we'll get there. Luca frequents the local tavern at Queensbirth. Am I in Queensbirth? I am. Where's the tavern? The Wild Mare. That's not the way I wanted to go. Pup, it's the same room. You can come up here. You can come up on this couch.
More drink, please.
Enraptured by the bottom of his glass, Luca regards you with dim comprehension.
Mel, you again? Shove off. These are my quiet hours.
Luca is undeniably intoxicated. His bearing suggests that his condition is far from unordinary. He seems open to suggestion, though not a pushover.
See anything you like? I'm not so far gone that I won't appreciate and admire.
Luca attempts to wink, fails, and tries again with both eyes. That was nice. Would you be willing to entertain a more profitable arrangement?
More profitable than an island full to bursting with luminous Adra.
Luca reels back, giving you a skeptical look.
I'm telling you, not friend to not friend. There's just no room for compromise.
Look, no one in the Republics would fault you for making a tidy profit on the side.
Gellarde, that is true enough.
Luca sways on his feet and regards you with momentary respect. He makes a tipsy beckoning gesture as he awaits your offer. Look, this seems like a fair deal.
Save your charity for the street urchins.
Ugh. Alright, final offer.
Perfecto. The matter is closed.
Luca takes your coins and dismisses you with a crooked finger pointed to the door. Ugh. Yes, I did get a haircut. Thank you for noticing. My partner is an esthetician. It's actually how we met. I've been going to her... Well, she's owned her salon for a little over 9 years. So I've probably been seeing her close to 9 years.
Akira, you return. What say, friend?
Tuanu touches his brow in greeting. Look, Luca, listen to reason. The Duape will keep their island.
Akira, I cannot believe. A light after our long sorrow.
His smile broadens and Tuanu slaps your shoulder with encouragement.
My village is modest, but I came prepared. I set aside a few gems for trading. They are yours by right.
Hold on to it. Teaching the Valiant Trading Company a lesson was well worth the effort.
You are a friend of the Duape. We do not forget.
Tuanu smiles, rolling his shoulders with the ease of one who stands suddenly taller. This is the last place I haven't gone to, is the Brass Citadel.
Halt! What is your business at the Brass Citadel?
I met Hazanui Karu at the palace. Oops, that's
You're the Watcher.
not what I meant
One
to
who
select.
nearly caused a riot in Queensbirth.
His mouth quirks in a grin.
Grand Secretary Atsura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs.
He points to the steps.
Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right.
What about the Hazanui?
Her office is at the back of Imperial Command. She is busy organizing other matters.
He clears his throat.
But I am sure she will grant you an audience.
Hey, Chuck, how's it going, my friend?
Leave. No Valiant spy is coming through on my watch.
I'm a merchant. I have business inside.
You want to see our walls, our cannons, our powder house.
A well-dressed Valiant and a young but determined guard are arguing by the gate.
The Royal Deadfire Company is a trading company, is it not? And you are on Kahanga soil. You cannot turn me away.
The Valiant's words only anger the guard further. Her face darkens and she grits her pointed teeth.
The Brass Citadel and the Royal Deadfire Company operate under the auspices of the Ranga Nui of Rawatai.
She straightens her shoulders and crosses her forearms over her chest in a stiff salute.
We answer to him, not to you. And certainly not to some tribal queen of Neketaka.
Well, let's all take a deep breath. I'm sure we can work this out.
Oh, you're one of those.
She crosses her arms.
These Valians are always sending their spies to snoop around, and I won't have it.
The guard glares at the merchant even as she speaks to you. The merchant rolls her eyes.
And these Rawatayans think they own anything they stack 2 stones on top of. I am here to conduct business, not engage in petty power struggles.
Let the merchant pass.
What? She's up to no good, I know it.
No, you just don't trust Valians, and she's right. This is no way to run a trading company post. The guard makes a frustrated sound at the back of her throat.
Fine. But if you're wrong, we're gonna have a talk later.
She glares at you before nodding the Valian on.
Agrassi, my friend.
She doffs her hat to you before departing. The cannon looks recently polished.
Green islands and blue skies.
The locals don't know how good they have it.
Hey, there
All
you
this
are.
trouble over a tablet of fucking stone. If my company's standing wasn't on the line, I would have written this one off as a loss already.
Tamara nurses her brow and motions for you to speak. Yeah, so I retrieved the tablet from Arkamir's Manor.
After all the trouble and effort, somehow I never expected this day would come.
She hefts the tablet and grins, tucking it away.
My thanks on behalf of the Royal Deadfire Company. We remember our friends and what in Remergon's hairy backside is that?
She squints as an approaching figure makes itself known with a harsh clearing of its throat.
Hey, you the Watcher?
The imp prods you to get your attention. The imp stares you down, narrowing his eyes in a menacing manner.
Well, moving on. Arkamir, the Great Master, has returned. Invites you to join him at the estate. Says you know where that is.
The imp lets out a harsh, discordant chuckle, holding his claw in front of his mouth to hide a mischievous grin. I'll see him when I have the time.
But whoever has time, you have to make time.
The imp nods to himself thoughtfully.
Find Master in his study. Don't be late.
The imp winks at you and flutters away.
It would seem the old wizard is more observant than I credited him. Just wonderful.
Tamara squeezes the bridge of her nose.
Never mind. The company has assets enough to recompense him. What matters is that the tablet is ours, and the path to Okaizo made clearer.
She grins to herself.
On the bright side, if he wanted to kill us, he probably wouldn't have bothered with the imp.
The Ranga Nui. And it's
But
a
what do you
commemoration.
squawk and gloat over a
show
heap
what
of
he built.
stones?
Whoops.
Akira, you Rawatayans are strange cousins indeed.
A well-dressed Huana woman shakes her head at a Rawatayan man. The tone of their debate is spirited, but not
The
unfriendly.
brass citadel is a marvel of modern engineering. With the gates barred and the cannons primed, it can withstand any attack and weather any storm.
He and his Huana friend turn to regard you.
Surely you can see what a fine stronghold this is.
I'm sure the brass citadel is very nice.
Please, spare us empty pleasantries. We transformed a rocky cove into the best defended harbor in Neketaka. Such achievements must be celebrated.
This rocky cove was once a prized fishing spot for the Riparu. These Rawatayans act as if every bare islet is merely awaiting a fort or a farm. They cannot look at anything without planning to change it.
To strive is to survive. Those who would achieve greatness must make the world a better, more ordered place than they found it.
Why change the world when you can learn to live in it the way it is? This is what my people have done for thousands of years.
Well, we should ask what provides the greatest benefit, a fishing spot or a harbor.
Must we sacrifice the needs of the few to the whims of the many, then?
She spreads her hands to you in question, but she isn't angry.
Kira, nothing invigorates like a good discussion. Thank you for indulging us.
She grins. With that, they turn from you and resume their discussion. Interesting.
Sword held high, to battle for glory and Rautai.
Faithfully done, Emiani. Report to Wakoyo Nui when your hands and your temper have healed.
Come to gawk, too? My punishment's over, you know.
She looks away and crosses her arms carefully to hide her burned hands. Why were you holding a red-hot cannonball? She glances back at you, a look of defiance in her eye.
I punched my captain.
It's as if the mere mention of the incident takes her back to it. Her face darkens with anger. and a bitter snarl transforms her features.
So maybe he shouldn't have insulted my aim. Like I don't know the difference between a smooth and rifled bore.
She shakes her head, quietly stewing. So what are you going to do now?
I'm not reporting back to Wakoyo, that's for sure. I crewed on mercenary ships before this. Come to think of it, that suited me better.
She grins impishly.
Still a scramble root at heart, I guess. But I'm plenty experienced. Maybe I'll see if anyone's looking for an expert cannoneer.
I could use an experienced cannoneer on my crew. She looks you up and down, considering your offer.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I only crew with captains I know. Either personally or by reputation. I'm sure you're capable. But I don't know enough about you. Yet.
Her eyebrow quirks up in hopeful suggestion.
Let's talk again when you've made a name for yourself.
Here I was thinking I was quite popular, but okay. An inscription reads, "That which grows is strengthened," by Coral Mason Torco. This map shows shipping routes from Deadfire to Rawatai. Alright, what the heck am I doing in here? Ah.
Clear skies, my friend.
Wakoyo crosses his arms and tips his head to the side. A long scar traces a path down his face, curving sharply where his cheek rises with a smile. Davos, Captain of the Defiant, at your service.
I know of you already, Captain.
See? I'm pretty popular.
The boats of our decorated armada have orders which spread them thinly across the archipelago. Rawatai finds itself in need of a privateer.
His brow rises as he speaks the word.
Your ship, unmoored from Deadfire politics, is an asset I would grasp with both hands. An arrangement can help us both. You will empty the seas of competition in exchange for profit.
Aren't you afraid that privateering will start a war?
An official reckoning is drafted to account for every cannonball shot in the name of Rawatai. Our paperwork is most thorough. For every ship sunk, there is a legal justification. Our enemies will know the war is started on the day we fail to turn in our paperwork.
Alright, what bounties do you have available?
A Scylla wave skipper is your first target. A pirate shirking any pretense of lawful conduct in the open seas.
Wakoyo grimaces and itches at his scar. We'll take the bounty.
Most excellent. A Scylla commands the Voyager River Dragon, which pesters a group of islands to the southwest of Port Mage.
Alrighty. Hi, okay, how you doing today? Oh, thank you so much! Holy crap! Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, you're fantastic, thank you so much. The young guard draws himself up to his full height, crossing his arms. Can I just look around inside?
Sorry, my orders come from the Hazanui herself.
Come on, I can't get into that much trouble, not when this place is so well guarded.
All it would take is one stray flame, one errant spark.
He catches himself and stops, shaking his head.
No, I'm sorry, but you really don't understand.
But what is this place?
Private property of the Royal Deadfire Company, that's what.
He eyes you warily. Alright.
Beat it. I don't have time to chit-chat.
The thin Valian glances over your shoulder with an expectant frown.
Shouldn't you be at work or something? This is no place for the likes of you.
He frowns with disapproval. Actually, you stole a pair of gloves from the dark cupboard. Give them to me.
Not a chance, amico.
He narrows his eyes at you.
Fascina sent you, didn't she? Postenago, just for these?
Shaking his head, he pulls a pair of fine gloves from his pocket, studying them with evident disappointment.
Soft as down, but not a single fence willing to pay me a fair price. Maybe they've got imp stink all over them.
You're gonna have a hard time selling an archmage's gloves for fast coin.
Should have guessed these were bad luck. Well, it's too late to go making smart decisions, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. He opens his mouth to say more, but something to the southwest distracts him, and his expression fills with dread.
Here he comes, and I'm too late. If Hamuto doesn't give me an extension on my debt, I'm a dead man.
That might be best. He snaps his head to glare at you before his attention is drawn to the advancing party. Yet, A unit of steely-eyed sailors approach the docks, clutching pikes and firearms with quiet professionalism. At their head stands a tall Awamawa in a mustard-yellow uniform. He turns his attention between you and Berteno.
So, Berteno, you hired a mercenary, or else a negotiator. That coin should have gone toward your debt to me.
Hamuto rubs a long scar that extends the length of his neck.
Huh? No, I didn't. That is, I would never go behind your back.
Berteno's voice falters and he turns to you with sudden panic. Berteno, shut up. The adults are talking. Hamuto's eyes brighten and he nods. The soldiers around him chuckle with approval.
I like dealing with people of substance.
He nods thoughtfully.
This is a private matter. Your interference is unnecessary.
Hamuto spreads his hands in a peaceful manner as his soldiers level their guns at Berteno. You sound more reasonable than I was led to believe.
Do I? One can be adherent to the tenets of maritime law and still be seen as a monster.
So what exactly is your plan for Berteno?
Indentured servitude. I trust this is a more honest and respectable alternative than any pursuit he would take on his own terms.
Not a big fan of the slavery bit, so he's gonna be coming with me. Hamuto lets out a piercing whistle. Several soldiers milling about the area snap to attention and fall into formation around the docks.
I salute you for your courage, but I ask you to reconsider your position.
He permits himself a very, very small smile. My business is with Hamuto. Does any one of you think I'd hesitate to go after you next? Several of the reinforcements Hamuto rallied to arms trade uneasy glances. Slowly at first, they lower their weapons, and sheepishly back away from the scene.
Cowards! There will be a reckoning, for I know each one of your faces.
He turns to regard seemingly everyone in the district. Like I said, you are not taking him.
My friend, look around you. We stand in the shadow of the brass citadel, not some Valian den.
Hamuto gestures with an open palm.
Raise your fist and the full force of Rauatai's armada will descend on you. Or back away and live to fight again.
He bares his teeth in a fierce grin as he relishes the idea. No deal, Hamuto.
You, look alive.
Hamuto snaps his finger at the other Royal Deadfire Company sailors at the docks, who turn to your exchange with interest.
My friend here needs a lesson in humility.
He signals his company to attack. Yeah, this maybe wasn't my best decision, but, you know. Oh, yeah, no, he's gonna go down so quick. Jeez. Especially with Palagina on the case.
Perfecto.
Hey. What do you got going on? Swap that out.
Here we go.
There we go. Jody. Can't say I'm not curious about Wicked Briars.
Ha-ha! Lava will be on sick.
Just like that.
Let's like head up here, maybe do a iconic projection.
Tell me.
What do you need?
God, I love his new armor.
That's not supposed to happen.
Mary Publici.
Hey, whose side are you on?
Blessed Harvest?
Lava will be on sync.
That's not very helpful.
No, when you're missing everyone. No, it's not.
Yes?
Attaboy. Pelagina. Shody. Oh, you don't even need to. There you go. Might have been a waste.
Yeah? Got it.
Well, that was easy. Oh, she leveled up. What did she get?
That was amazing. You're so great at killing things. I mean, really great. Wow. I feel incredible. Can we do it again?
Wild. Okay, here we go. You got Eager Lover. 2% action speed on scoring hit until end of combat. Fine pistol. Fine mail armor. The metal is as smooth as marble and polished to a shine.
I've got it.
The scrolls are filled with meticulous diagrams of rifles and pistols. These guns look ancient, but the metal is still polished and the wood is perfectly smooth. The man greets you with arms crossed over his chest. He has a mass of scar tissue where his left eye would be, and his hands are knotted with bulging tendons.
Looking for a pistol or an arquebus? Rauatai makes the finest guns in Aora, and I make the finest guns in Rauatai.
What makes your gun so special? Hi, handsome. Hi, you coming to say hi finally? You wanna come up? Come on. Come on. Come show off your new bandana.
Craftsmanship.
He holds out his knotted hands, keeping them entirely still as he speaks to you. They're covered in small burns and scars that blur the varied pigmentation of his skin.
If you ask my superiors at Imperial Command, they'll tell you our main exports are saltpeter and metal. Those are just things. They're prized because of what we do with them.
He reaches under the counter and presents a blunderbuss, holding it out for your inspection with his ever-steady hands. It's a high-quality piece.
Rauataian industry is about discipline, precision, mastery of a careful art. Those qualities guide all that we build.
He puts the blunderbuss away. Well, let's see what else you got. A $42,000 frickin' gun. What the hell? Alright. Oh, we're back down here already? This is a wicked tiny area. Holy crap.
Cole's winner until suddenly she's not.
Meet her eye when you've got bad news. She respects that.
Someone named Pero is trouncing his opponent at
I
Hazatoa.
think she likes me. I spent most of my
know
career
what that is.
escorting foreign ships.
Many have. She's got nothing against scramble routes, but don't stare at
The
her
notice
hand.
reads, Service reserved for officers of the Royal Deadfire Company.
If this is about the Hazatoa tournament, I've got nothing to do with that, alright? I just serve the drinks.
He holds up his hands with the exhausted resignation of a man who's made his case many times. What's this about Hazatoa, and what is Hazatoa?
Some of the soldiers and sailors get to making unwise bets when they play.
He rolls his eyes.
Like I said, I keep out of it. None of the regulars are looking for new opponents, though, if that's what you're asking. All the better for you, trust me.
Okay, why do you work for the Royal Deadfire Company?
They always pay on time. They're run by the Ronganui, so they should, right?
He grins.
Also, I'm from a town near Takoa. Rautai's full of all kinds of kith, not just Amawa. But the Amawa have a long history at sea. They make up a lot of sailors and soldiers, including most of the ones that ended up here.
He nods vaguely at the bar.
You're a captain working for the Royal Deadfire Company, right? Sure you are. Even if you're not, I've heard your name enough to think you are. Try the razor skewers, if you can handle the heat.
He smirks in challenge. +2 penetration with weapons, +2 might, +1 all power levels. I gotta get like at least 4 of these. They're stupid expensive, but... Oh, I forgot to finish talking to Berteno.
What do you want?
Give me my gloves.
Not a chance, amico.
He narrows his eyes at you.
Fasina sent you, didn't she? Postenago, just for these? Soft as down, but not a single fence willing to pay me a fair price.
Why are
Maybe
we having
they've
the
got
same
imp stink all over them?
conversation again? I just saved your life.
Should have guessed these were bad luck. Well, it's too late to go making smart decisions, isn't it? Here he comes, and I'm too late. If Hamuto doesn't give me an extension on my debt, I'm a dead man.
Did I miss something here? Did that glitch out? I think that may have glitched out. Yeah, it totally glitched out. Because I killed him. Let me try talking to him
You again. What do you want?
I'm in the market for some gloves. Have any? He eases back, taking your measure with a critical eye.
Fasina sent you, didn't she? Soft
Yeah.
as down, but not a single fence willing to pay me a fair price. Maybe they've got imp stink all over them.
I'd be willing to take them off your hands.
Really? Where were you when I needed you? Let's get this over with. Here he comes, and I'm too late.
Well, that's a quest gone. Slaver, hello.
Hello there. Always nice to see another furry face around here.
She winks at you.
I've got all sorts of goods and supplies. Take a look before you head back out.
Why are you working at a Rawatayan outpost?
Because I'm from Rawatai. Or, to be more specific, my ancestral home's been part of the Empire for decades. Few generations now.
Doesn't that bother you? She glances around to see if anyone is in
I
earshot.
guess it used to. When I was younger, I grew up hearing stories of the time before from my grandparents. But they were children themselves when Rawatai took over.
She frowns at you thoughtfully.
Some wax romantic about the old days. Anyways, I'm just trying to make a living. That's why I'm here, after all.
How did your homeland become part of Rawatai?
The usual way, I guess. Their soldiers beat ours.
She shrugs.
That's a better subject. Take a look.
Well, let's see what you got for sale. I don't know why I expected her to sell slaves, but I'm glad she does not. Yeah, it's only $27.50. Why not? Okay, so just Imperial Command, I guess. This is such a small area.
But he represents all of Rout.
Corpse fruit. That sounds delicious. A young woman with a bright, wide smile and eyes to match raises her hand and gives you a quick but enthusiastic wave. Then, with an exaggerated look of embarrassment, she stops herself and crosses her forearms over her chest.
I always forget that part. Say, you're the Watcher of Cadnua, aren't you? I've never met anyone famous before. Except the Hazanui. She yells at me sometimes.
Her grin widens impossibly. The Hazanui yells at you?
Oh, all the time.
She screws up her face into a look of mock seriousness. Still, she can't keep from smiling.
Where's my white leaf? Stop daydreaming. Sabormi, if you lose the letters again, I'll have you clean the latrines.
At this last comment, she leans close, her eyes wide and voice low with awe.
All this time, I didn't realize she knew my name.
Are you always this excitable?
It's just, this is my first time away from the rough country.
She blushes.
I'd heard there were thick, green forests and sandy beaches without a storm in sight, but I never imagined this.
She shakes her head in wonderment. Oh.
You must have traveled lots, seen all sorts of amazing places.
Saborni folds her hands under her chin, watching you intently. And adventures you wouldn't believe. See the world, Saborni. Travel is grand.
I sure hope to. I'd love Rawatai, but it's hard to go a week without seeing storms, or hearing about mudslides burying a village somewhere.
Her buoyant expression sags, but only for a moment. You're the quartermaster. Can you sell me something? Her face scrunches up in disappointment.
I really wish I could, but my supplies are for the Royal Deadfire Company and our allies. Hazanui's orders. Maybe if you impress her or Atsura, they could make an exception.
She smiles hopefully. Well, that was an interesting exchange. Read that. Obviously haven't read this. To the oft-admired but questionably attired Captain Reiki, this letter should reach the Brass Citadel long before I do, which is lucky for you because you'll need the time to make some Hazatoa winnings to settle our last bet. Never challenge a captain of the cuppa Charo Colonel spitting contest. My eldest knitted a pair of those fancy socks you love, though I hear Deadfire's the kind of place where it's nice to feel the sand between your toes. Maybe it really is the haven everyone says it is. You'll know before I do. When you see our sails, have a pair of razor skewers, some arrack, and about 30 Polohe nuts of varying sizes ready. And grand deeds and ill-advised wagers. Captain Mascoro. The air around the coral thrums with life-sustaining magic. Ooh, I want to go this way. I know. Rawatai clothing. An egg! Hey, it's Yennefer.
Did you see those awful verses by the kitchen?
They weren't that bad.
Rhyming Hazanui with kablooey?
Someone has posted an earnest but excruciating attempt at epic poetry. A few stray bitter squash seeds are tucked under the pillow.
Criticism is easier than creation.
Most of these papers are letters to home. Almost all praise Deadfire's weather. These rifles look perfectly maintained and ready for use at a moment's notice.
Steady does it.
Oh geez, didn't even see that person next to me. Oh gosh. Found a cape. Hey. I wasn't stealing. No.
Finished.
Totally didn't pick that lock either. You saw nothing. This guy's just hiding a ruby underneath his bed. No big deal. You're crazy, Steely boy. Please don't attack the TV. Oh, thank you so much. Here, 1 second. I will give him treats, because I have those right over here. And I will give him belly rubs at the end of the stream. Once I can move the camera and actually show his belly. Come on, bud. Can you get over here, though, for the camera? Come on. Can you see? You right there? Yes, a good boy. Yes, a good boy. Yeah. That's a cool map. Little village thing. Food-stained tally sheets tucked beneath this battlefield model suggest it's been used for recreational purposes. A plaque below the coral reads, "As we shape coral, so shall we shape nations. In victory, your Ranganui." The man behind the desk regards you with attentive, unblinking eyes and a perfectly open expression. His smooth features make it hard to pinpoint his age, though the crinkles at the corners of his eyes suggest he is not especially young. He cocks his head, taking your measure. He pauses before speaking, just a little longer than seems normal. The gesture is so sudden, and over so quickly, that when he steps back and resumes his politely professional manner, it's almost as if it never happened.
Watcher Nui, the Lord of Cadnua.
He gives you a sleek half-smile that reveals a row of perfect, pointed teeth. In his careful stare and the pause before he speaks, you recognize that he's studying you.
I'm not one for ostentation, but your remarkable display at Queen's birth suggests that you are an individual with skills, not mere style.
I do what has to be done and don't let anything stand in my way.
Deadfire could certainly use more people with your gumption.
His eyes shine with interest. He blinks, perhaps for the first time since your conversation began.
I am Atsura, Grand Secretary of the Royal Deadfire Company.
It sounds like a significant title, but he is strangely emotionless. He might as well be describing the color of his clothing. For a trading company, you've got a very commanding presence in Neketaka.
And why not? Thousands of years ago, our people came from the archipelago. By one reckoning, we have as much claim on these islands as the Huana.
He shrugs and waves a hand in the manner of someone politely dismissing a compliment.
But our purpose here is trade.
He gives you that unusually placid smile again.
While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soils make it a poor source for most other basic staples. It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here.
He spreads his hands wide to include his rather plain, dim office. And do those interests include Luminous Adra?
That is a Valian frivolity. Leave it to them to observe a substance that occurs nowhere else on Aora, and immediately set about pulverizing it for profit.
A ripple of distaste passes over his features. That's not what I meant to grab.
And leave it to a Rawatayan to ignore the dozens of other uses Valian animancers have discovered for Luminous Adra just in the last few years.
I do not think in years, Aimika. I think in centuries.
His eyes fix on her as a strange, blank smile spreads across his lips. Then he turns back to you.
Yet the Valians toy with Luminous Adra like a child who has discovered her mother's pistol.
And what would you do with it?
Nothing. We know too little about Luminous Adra to understand the consequences of ripping it out.
He pauses and considers you.
Perhaps you can help me keep them from doing more harm.
Don't necessarily mind where this is going right now. Depends on what's in it for me, though.
We are powerful allies with a formidable fleet and mighty cannons. I'm sure we can come to a suitable arrangement.
The smile that has begun to spread across his lips vanishes as he launches into the matter.
The demand for Luminous Adra has sent the Valian Trading Company into a frenzy. Their expeditions grow too bold, and their officers too greedy.
He puckers his lips as though at a lack of discretion at a dinner party.
Worse, their rapid expansion attracts pirates and threatens the outlying Juana tribes. This risks souring the Kahanga royals against all foreign involvement.
He inclines his head like he's about to let you in on a secret.
But you can curtail their growth.
So this isn't about the welfare of the Deadfire, this is about them outpacing you.
By snapping up land, we need to grow food and build ships for our people? Indeed. But our interests and Deadfire's are not mutually exclusive.
He interlaces his long, well-manicured fingers.
The Valians have sent an expedition to Pococahara, a storm-wrecked island believed to house a vein of Luminous. I hear you accomplished an incredible feat in restoring the Luminous Adra near Port Mage.
He appraises you again with those unblinking eyes.
If your abilities allow you to do that, then perhaps you are also capable of the opposite. Find the Luminous Adra at Pococahara. Render it unusable to the Valians. This should encourage them to develop the resources they have, rather than reaching for more.
His eyebrows rise a degree, both a request and an invitation. And I was thinking you were concerned about disturbing Luminous Adra.
Deeply.
He furrows his brow, frowning deeply. Abruptly, his expression clears.
But if a small sacrifice here will discourage the Valians from further ventures, then it is a worthwhile risk.
Bless you, Steely boy. And what's to say I don't just tell the Valians about this?
For all their faults, they don't lack imagination. I'm confident they know of our intentions.
Okay, but why would I help you? You haven't made that clear yet.
Because governors like Clario are a rare breed. Most of the Valian administrators care little for the well-being of the Juana. If the Valians claim Pococahara, it is the locals who will truly suffer.
I don't like this guy. We'll see.
Deadfire is a tumultuous place. Consider the value of an ally with ships, cannons, and the backing of a great empire.
He gives you a soothing smile.
I do not have the precise location of Pococahara, but the tribe on the nearby island of Tikawara could probably help. I suggest starting there.
He circles a small, out-of-the-way island on your map.
Now, what else can I do for you?
Nothing. Aloth's fingers fidget with the hem of his outfit, and his mouth is pressed into a thin frown. He gives you a familiar, uncertain look, as if he's trying to figure out what to say. What is it, Aloth?
I hope you know I have immense respect for all you've accomplished.
He purses his lips around the inevitable but.
But lately, you don't seem to recognize the gravity of the situation before you. That troubles me.
Speak plainly.
Chasing Aethys and treating with the leaders of Deadfire has put you in a position of incredible responsibility. You have a good heart. I've seen you follow it more than once. I only wish you took your role more seriously. It so often seems you're oblivious to the lives that depend on you, or unconcerned by them.
His expression darkens. What are you asking of me, exactly?
We both know the choices before us aren't always clear or simple. I only ask that you give them due attention.
I'll do my best, Aloth.
No more than any of us can do. Well, thank you for hearing me out. This is a great weight off my chest.
Fair enough. A game of Hazatoa is in progress. Of course it is. A plaque below the coral reads, "A piece of Rawatai for Deadfire. Compliments of Coral Mason Rua. In glory, your Ranganui." Hazanui. Karu paces near her desk, looking like a shark circling the shallows. She clenches a long, elegant pipe between her teeth, the smoke trailing an acrid wake behind her. She looks up when you enter, and favors you with a brief nod of acknowledgement.
The former Lord of Cadnua, and one-time Terrifier of Harbor Masters. If dockside tales are to be believed.
She smiles briefly through the smoke.
You have not brought much good news of late.
Her pensive look returns.
So, in addition to pirates, profiteers, and slavers, the Deadfire has a vengeful god roaming its waters?
She bites down harder on her pipe. That's about the shape of it, yeah.
Just what the archipelago needs. One more disaster tugging at the seams. He must be stopped.
She halts, turning to face you. You're finally able to get a good look at her. She's not especially large for an Aumaua, but she carries her shoulders high. Her weathered face looks to have seen many storm-blown and sun-beaten days on deck, yet her eyes are sharp and keen. He's a giant made of living Adra that can absorb souls in an instant. Got any ideas?
Anything can be stopped with sufficient force. The problem is finding the will to deploy it.
She watches you, her eyes bright with calculation.
The Valians won't lift a finger if it isn't to snatch a coin, and the Huana will barely do that much.
Success in trade has been quite elusive for the Rawataians, but the bitterness suits you well.
No one takes charge to solve the big problems. But perhaps we could work together to our mutual benefit.
She takes the pipe in her left hand, and as she does, you notice that her right is unusually still. What do you mean?
Look around. Deadfire's full of fertile, temperate islands. Except for Andra's mortar. It's largely free of rough weather.
She waves her right hand, and you notice again that her fingers remain strangely still. You realize it's an unusually fine prosthetic.
Yet much of it is uninhabited. Itinerant tribes drift between some of the islands, and smugglers and slavers cluster around the rest.
She shakes her head.
It's a waste. Imagine what this place could be, with well-guarded shipping routes. How many Rawataians we could feed with plantations here.
I guess it's a worthy venture.
Glad you agree.
She takes a satisfied puff.
If you're chasing the god who's stomping this place into the ground, then we have a common goal. And if you're going to survive here, then you could use an ally.
A hint of a smile tugs her lips from her tar-stained teeth. What did you have in mind?
The disaster at Hasongo remains a key concern. We rely on the port there to ship food back to Rawatai.
She sucks in her pipe, hiding her worried expression behind a cloud of smoke.
That's on hold until you investigate. Short of that, there are other matters that demand attention. You've already spoken with Atsura. For now, I suggest you continue to work with him. I might have something for you later.
What's the game board for?
Hazatoa. Atsura and I usually have a game running, and this one's been going on for over a month and a half.
Jeez.
Atsura's good at misdirection, but I've got a mind for the long game. You look like you've come with a purpose.
What happened to your hand? She extends her arm, holding the prosthetic between you. It's an exquisite piece with reinforced joints in each of the fingers, and a smooth, sanded finish.
It happened a year into my first command. We were chasing pirates along Rawatai's south coast, and they landed a shot right next to our magazine. A lucky hit.
She's quiet for a moment.
I ran below. The fire was already spreading and making for our powder stores. I smothered what I could with my uniform, pulled the rest away with my own hands.
If you hadn't, you and your crew would probably have died. She nods.
We don't get to choose our challenges, do we? Just the way we meet them. There's a cost to every victory. And the win goes to those willing to make a sacrifice.
She considers the wooden hand, turning it in the light. You sense satisfaction in her gaze.
I'll bet you already know a thing or two about that. And if you don't, Deadfire will teach you soon enough.
Alright, farewell. Let's head into the Undercraft. I feel like I know it,
right
but...
there, mate.
Oop. The pirate stares you down, hand clutching the hilt of his sword. His arm is roped with muscle and striated with pale scars.
Port's closed to insiders, so I'll be seeing you off now, into Andra's embrace.
With an audible crack of his neck, he lunges for you, cutlass swiping. You do realize how big of a mistake that was, right?
How may I help?
Yeah? Hogwash!
Oh, come on, Shody. Oink. Literal oink.
Oh, that's the stuff.
Whoop.
Sure.
Okay, another one. Oh, who now?
Take him down.
There we go.
The season harvest is here.
It's on your side.
Shody, I don't think this is gonna work, but... Okay, apparently it did. Sweet. Oh, damn.
And the next one.
Killing me, Shody.
This is futile!
Hit me again and I'll hit you back.
Sure.
There we go.
Yes! Yes!
There.
Oh. Got some boars. Yikes. Oh, Davos. Dang.
Yes?
I now need to figure out if I can still convince these people to bring food, and I know that's not going to happen, but...
Sure.
There we go. Nice.
Lavaru beyond seek.
God, I love that ability.
Oh, good.
Easy enough. Hey, Seth, how you doing? God, I have been itching to do another Baldur's Gate playthrough. The game is going to keep throwing these things at me one at a time. I mean, that'll be fantastic.
Hey.
Lavru, be on
Hey.
Ah. Oh, that's the stuff.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Boom. Well, I guess, yeah, I guess I'm not going to convince these people to do anything for me. That's just going to go that way. Let's go to Serpent's Crown first. Dad's getting sleepy. This is totally the wrong place. Oh, what a ham. Yeah, you. I feel like this is a bad idea, but I don't know what else to do.
Suspense, I say. Have you found Matario Cozy?
Aruihi raises his eyebrow and gestures for you to speak. No, but I did have other questions.
If you have questions, the royal brother will hear you.
Aruihi smiles and opens his palm. I wanted to talk to you about the food shortage in the gullet.
Shortage? Are the Raparu not fed the leavings of the Kwaru and Mataru?
Yeah, but the gullet is in a poor state. There's little enough to go around. Sighing, Prince Aruihi presses his palms together and nods.
It is no wonder how Delver's Row won the love of my people, I say, by feeding them when we could not.
He's more open to this than I thought he would be.
Find us solutions instead of old problems, I say.
Well, it would be a shame if the trading companies recognized this failure of leadership. Hint, hint.
Akira, if one framed it that way.
The prince squeezes his hands into fists.
I will dredge up the resources to feed the Raparu if the meat must come from my own body.
Damn.
Keeping pace with our rivals. There is no end, I say.
Aruihi sighs and shakes his head.
If you have more to say, I am not above listening.
Nope, we're good. Thanks, man. Cheers. Wow, he was just right on board with that. Expected him to be kind of a dick about it. Now where's
Curse
Inoue?
Aethys for all of this.
Say that about Gon and I'll wash your mouth out. With mud.
It is pathetic how easily wounded your faith is.
Time we got 12:50.
That's it. For Gon's sake, I can't take it anymore.
The priestess stomps, stumps, and hops around, doing her best impression of a cricket caught in a hot skillet. Occasionally, she tosses her arms up as she spins, her teeth bared in a scowl.
Oh, I'm seeing red all right everywhere, and it ain't a passing vision. Pallegina, we're gonna have words, you and I.
She turns to the paladin and glares, anger like fire in her eyes.
And maybe you'll even apologize.
Pallegina's feathers ruffle and the muscles in her jaw bulge as she grinds her teeth. Her golden eyes disappearing under narrowing lids, the Valian smoothly turns to face Shodi.
Little woman making a big noise. When someone takes that tone with me, what follows is not conversation. In the Republics, no one would bat an eye if I cut you from gut to gullet and left you holding your innards in a ditch.
The color drains from Shodi's face, but she slides a step forward rather than back, too stubborn to so easily relent.
You can throw your threats around in an attempt to avoid this, but it won't work. I want the air cleared, at last and for good.
Shodi, take a breath.
No, I will not settle down and shut up. I've been turning a deaf ear for too long, disgracing both myself and my god, ignoring the no-good, sour-souled, moronic blasphemy that spews out of her mouth.
Pecum Blanca. Another frail-faithed priest has come to mumble tearful protestations because I don't see the world with their blind eyes. I'm sure this will be as fresh as a pasture full of cow droppings.
Pallegina sighs and crosses her arms. Oh, you're upset because Pallegina disdains the gods.
I'm working my way down from active disdain to slight regard. I'd prefer to give the lot of them as little of my time as possible.
A disbelieving sound hitches in Shodi's throat.
The more she disparages the gods, the more she tempts ruination on her very soul.
And that is on her, not on you.
I can't just let that happen. Besides, her arrogance irritates me.
Of course you see it as arrogance. You surround yourself with believers. The very idea of disbelief offends you. And little girl, you have no idea what it is like to grow up being godlike. So do not presume to know what it means about my soul or my life.
That's why I asked you what it was like. But instead of ever telling me anything, you just give me insults or a cold shoulder. It's her or me, Watcher.
Okay, whoa now. Settle down. I mean, each of your experiences and worldviews are valid. Can you not come to a compromise? Shodi sucks in a deep, rattling breath. After holding it for several heartbeats, she then pushes it slowly out through her nose. Her first attempt to speak comes out in a croak, but finally she manages.
You're not wholly wrong, I reckon.
Fingers splayed, she scrubs her palms over her face.
If after all you've seen, Watcher, you really believe that we're both right, you're an even bigger fool than this one.
Oh, come on, Pallegina. She cants her head sharply in Shodi's direction and casts her eyes between both of you.
Anyway, I'm not the one who got upset. I'd just as soon get on with more important things.
Guess that leaves me to apologize. I'm sorry, there I said it. But don't think it'll happen again.
The old man grimaces some attempt at a smile. He inclines his head to you, indicating he's aware of your presence. I found Ulog's body in the Narrows. I know he stills for a moment, only moving to blink his black pebble eyes. Then he takes a deep, shuddering breath and exhales all at once. His damp breath smells like bile and illness.
It was as I feared, then. Tell me, how did he die? Was it fast, at least? Painless?
It was quick. The old man's shoulders slump forward, and he heaves another shuddering sigh.
At least he didn't suffer.
He nods slowly.
If the Mataru would only protect us as they ought to, our people wouldn't be prey to those crooks and cutthroat who prowl the Narrows like sharks.
Anger makes him shake.
Thank you for your honesty, Watcher. Few are there who will deliver bad news in all its sorry truth. Speak, and I will listen.
So the queen has agreed to, well, the prince has agreed to double their efforts to feed your growing population. The old man's eyes glisten.
Not in this lifetime could I have hoped for more. To have garnered our queen's generosity. I ache to believe it. Never can I thank you enough, Watcher who has the ear of both kith and gods. Always the Riparu will know of your kindness. Should you need refuge within Neketaka, know that the Riparu will stand by your side.
Take care, old man.
May Amira's winds ever fill your sails, boy. We will not forget what you have done for us.
Let's head over to Archimere's. Oop. You're traveling in the slums of Neketaka when the streets become suddenly barren. The cliffs high above block all sight of the stars from the narrow alleys and tunnels of Neketaka's ghettos. The reek of rotten fruit mixes with the noisome scent of dead fish, swaddling you along with 100 other lesser filthy fragrances. Your footsteps echo in the darkness, piercing the otherwise silent slums. Strangely quiet, don't you think? Aloth looks around warily. You turn a corner and walk into a plaintive cry. Help! Misshapen shadows mix with low hissing and the skittering of claws on filthy stone to resolve into a pack of Skulder. Their glistening maws float in the black, and cave grubs wriggle about their legs, mandibles snapping as if to mangle the air. On the far side of the creatures, a small girl dressed in the rags of the Huana grips a gleaming sword in both hands. She brandishes it wildly at the Skulder, each swing of the blade releasing a howl that keeps the beasts at bay. They creep ever closer to her, however, and her eyes plead with your own. Please! Get out of here, kid. I'll take care of these beasts. The girl shakes her head and swings the weapon again, driving back a scolder. Can't! No way out behind me! Well, let's draw their attention. With a resounding shout, Adair rushes into the fray. The Skulder flinch and turn on your party. They growl hungrily as they charge forward. I do know that. Yeah, tragedy by ogre. Yes, exactly. That'll be good. Yeah, Palagina, you go. No, I don't even care if you take a hit. Probably could have taken another step and gotten this one too, but... There, got it now. There you go, an iconic projection will be nice. Yeah, man, those ogres. Ugh, that was rough. Everything else that I survived during that stream, just to get taken out by them, so disheartening. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Kind of unnecessary though, because it's about to die. You know what? I can attack this one.
Oh, good.
So curious about who this person is. Get some disciplined strikes going. Oh. Okay. Rude. Take like the tiniest step forward. Yeah.
There's a walloping.
Nice. Good job, Bailoff.
Got it.
Lavaru beyond sick.
Now you're gonna have to actually do something.
What can I do you for?
Yeah?
Try and knock that one down. Dang. Nice. Good.
No one noticed that, right?
Shody. Gosh. You're like Shadowheart.
How may I help?
I'll light the darkness.
Just punch it. Ooh, that was a good punch. Nice. Palagina. Take a tiny step. That'll help.
Sure.
Oh, good.
When I do that, it's alright though.
What can I
That'll
do
work.
you for? Get threshed.
Not to alarm you, but I'm slowly dying of poison.
Oh, you're doing fine.
No good.
Why is he only attacking with one weapon? So bizarre. Alright, don't do that again. How about you just throw a fireball at them? I don't even care that he's gonna hit teammates with that. They'll be fine.
Curses. Some improvement.
Nice. Alright, just the one? Nope, just two. Where's the other Skuldrak? There it is. Good job, Adair.
Yeah?
Davos.
Take him down.
That's right.
Hey, yeah. The girl panting before you, draped in tattered Riparu robes, bears a few bruises and cuts but looks otherwise unharmed. Beads of sweat commingle with trickling blood on her forehead. Finally relaxing, she lowers the sword she's been swinging, letting the edge rest in the dirt. The pommel bears the form of a dog's head.
Thanks, stranger. Don't think I could have made it without you.
Kusi smiles, eyes gleaming in the gloom. What were you doing out here?
These Skulder had been picking folk off for weeks, picking on the weak. Those too young, old, or sick to fight them off.
She kicks one of the corpses.
Maybe it was stupid, but I couldn't let that go on, not if I could help it.
That was incredibly brave of you.
Nah.
Kuzi looks away with a blush, her hair falling over her face to half hide her grin.
I mean, maybe a little.
That's quite the sword you've got there.
Like it? My father left it for me. Told me that one day I'd defend the Deadfire with it.
She grins. Then it's an ancestral blade?
Not really. Father found it and brought it home. He said he got it from some Dirwidian pirate captain with a dog named Griffin. But, well, sometimes his tales were a bit taller than true.
She smiles, but sadness hides behind the glint of her eyes. You look like you had it handled. I just swept in to help clean up.
I doubt it, but thanks for saying so all the same. Anyway, I think you should have this. For what you did, and for what you can do with it.
She kneels, wipes the blood off of the blade, and slides it into its scabbard before proffering it to you. Thank you. I'll use the blade well.
No, thank you for coming along when you did. And what's more, for helping.
She bows her head. As you take the sword from her, the girl steps back.
I truly appreciate what you did. Not everyone in Neketaka steps in for a neighbor. I need to be getting back to Mother, though.
She grimaces down at one of the dead Skulder.
I probably shouldn't take home Skulder meat, should I?
Check out that sword. That is a nice sword. It is a very nice sword. 50% chance to daze target and nearby enemies on crit. What's a loyal companion? Spirit of Griffin bolsters the party's courage, grants steadfast to the wielder and nearby allies when the wielder is bloodied. This bronze sword is not associated with a great smith, but with a modest artisan. The young craftswoman, noted for her talent at engraving and jewelry, received the unfinished blade from her local lord with the commission for a brass crossguard and pommel. Elated at the trust shown in her talents, the artisan worked tirelessly to complete the order. As she etched and polished, her faithful dog Griffin stayed at her side day and night. As days turned to weeks, the artisan began to forego food and sleep in her effort to fulfill her commission. When she became discouraged, Griffin, her ever-faithful companion, was there to encourage her with a nuzzle and a loving lick. One day while working, the artisan looked down at her feet to find her beloved canine companion cold and still. Oh, what the fuck? Griffin had died curled at her feet, faithful to the last. Heartbroken, the artisan decided to commemorate the hound on the piece into which she had poured her heart and soul. She crafted the pommel into Griffin's likeness, taking some comfort in knowing that when the Lord carried his sword, he too would always have a loyal companion at his side. It's messed up. It's like Jurassic Park all over again. I think I leveled up. Sure did. Hey, you said it as I was typing it. Should absolutely go with Devastating Blow. Aloth. Farcasting? Was that what I was going to do with him? Yeah. And then we'll go with Alchemy. She also get Farcasting? She does. Rapid Casting is the one that she needs. Dare should be quick as well. Athletics and Survival, always. Yeah, we'll do that for like really tough fights. And... oh, you're finally level 4. Hey. But also the ability to revive them. It's always helpful. I will probably do this and this, and then on my next level get one of these. Yeah. There's that. Nice. There we go. Archimedes. Alright. It's almost 1:30 though. So, we're going to call it there for the night. I'm going to pop over into Archimedes so that I know this is where we're going for the next time. Got plenty of stuff to do in here. So I owe Mr. Steely Boy over here some belly rubs. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, guys. Appreciate all of you as always. Come here, buddy. Come here. I'm going to show you his new bandana, too. Yeah. He came in his bark box today. It says, let's sniff butts. Nope, I think I'm sideways. Sorry about that. He loves it. He loves wearing bandanas. Take care, Alec. I'll catch you next time. You too, Tuck. Alright. Thank you again for hanging out, everyone. That was with us tonight. Don't forget to join the Discord to check out our future streams. This video will be up on YouTube in a couple days. And this here is Steely Boy. Not that my camera you can see him very well on the camera, but he's our handsome little mascot. And I will catch you all next time. So thank you again for joining us, and have a great night, everyone.